Welcome to SuperCoach and welcome to the weekend preview. A pretty quick turnaround after, obviously, with the Anzac Day match. Bang, Thursday hits you and all of a sudden Friday's upon us and we're back into the footy. So it's a pretty quick turnaround, but I want to take a look at a few bits and pieces and a few rookies and a few guys that I think we should be looking to upgrade to as well. Firstly, I want to talk about these rookies because I definitely think there's a few guys that are here to make some real good coin for us. Off the top is David Mirra. I think he's a really good option, 102k, backline player for the Hawks. I think he's a really likely type. As we know, mature age recruit. He's been around the Hawthorn system for a long time. Their backline is something that needs those types of players. And he's looked solid without being great. I think a 70 odd in the first game and a poorer score, about 54 on the weekend. But there weren't too many Hawks who had a good day there. So I think he's a really nice option. As well as Guelphy, I think you say it, from the Bombers. You can get him as a forward. And you got, of course, Jack Higgins as a forward. Hasn't he been the rage for the Tigers, become a cult hero in a matter of one game and an interview? So, look, I think they're all the guys we should be considering. Of those three, I actually like the two that have had the least amount of hype. And I know Higgins has been pumped up and he scored 91, but look, watching that game, yeah, really good game. He's a nice finish, a bit of a tackler, but I'm not sure we're going to see too many 90s. I think he got on the end of a couple and, did okay. But I would envision more of your 60 to 70 games more often than not. It's tough to predict sometimes, but that's how I see it. My main concern is that job security. I don't think we can see him staying in the side for the full season. Again, you never know, but there's much more of a risk about it with him than, say, Guelphy or Mirra. I think those other two guys have far better job security. Yeah, there's a bit less flair about them and a few less bells and whistles, but I think they're better options because Higgins has already been dropped once. That Richmond team is one that, they're so even, they're so consistent. I think Higgins could potentially only be a game or two of the poor variety out from being dropped. So I think that's something we've got to keep in mind. So I could definitely understand getting in a few of those guys and freeing up some cash. Don Barry has come back. So, look, probably for those two guys in the forward line, I definitely understand, we've got the likes of whether it's a Venables or a Fritz or whoever it might be that you've got there, quite definitely could be a guy we could trade down to. Fritz might be a guy who comes back into the side, hopefully. Of course, Christian Petrarca is out. Very disappointing. Whose dog was it? Was it his dog? Was he playing frisbee with it? I don't know, but it's bitten him on the finger and it's infected. How much time could the bloke had to play with his dog? Oh, well, anyway, it's frustrating, but hopefully he's all right. But look, I think those forward line guys are clearly guys we should be looking to bring into the side. But the number one man I think we should be bringing in is Zach Merritt. It's an absolute dream if you can get guys who are capable of averaging 110 for less than 500k. He's at 486,000 with a break-even of 64. Get him into your side. Get him into your side now, if you can. Now, I stress if you can, because a lot of people out there will have guys in the midfield still making money. I speak of Holman, still got money to make. I speak of Kelly, still got money to make. I speak of Finlayson, still got money to make. Caulfield, Banfield, money to make. For me, and you might be similar if you've got Brayshaw still, or maybe you've got a Davies Uniacke or a Hunter Clark or someone who's been struggling a bit. I know Davies Uniacke came back in the side, but maybe someone who's struggling a bit. That could be your move, because don't trade off a Holman. I know he scored 30 the other week, but he's still got coin to make, and more often than not, those guys are scoring well. So I think we've got to stay on that ride. They can keep making us coin. For me, the number one trade I'm looking at this week is Brayshaw to Merritt. I think it's a must. I think it's a great upgrade because there'll be some times where we have to upgrade to players at 550, 600k just to get him into the side. Where we're getting a guy, yeah, he's had a couple of poorer weeks. He got knocked out once, so that affected his score big time with a 17, so that hurts the average. But otherwise, a couple of quiet ones, yeah, but 2 tons in the last 2 weeks. He looks to be back to his ball-winning best. We'd surely think the Bombers will respond soon enough, but nonetheless, he's the sort of guy who can still get you 3 figures when the side's not going overly well. He's a ball magnet, so I think he's got to come into the side. A few other guys to look at. Elliot Yeo, break even about 40 or 50, I think. 500k, really good option. Talking about he might tag 5 or something like that, but it's not going to be a hard tag, so I think Yo, aside from that 27, we've seen 4 100s. So he's a guy that is clearly a scorer. He's backing it up. He'll be a player I'm looking to bring into my side. Keep an eye on Zorko, Matt Crouch as well. Once he gets back into it, starts falling in price. Zorko is probably one we just got to see some confidence in him that he can actually score again. Really struggling, really struggles with the tag. But he's falling dramatically. So that's, somewhat pleasing to see unless you own him. Petrarca out, what's going to go on there? Do we trade him? Well, no, it's an infected finger. It's just going to be one of those 1 week things you would imagine. So just keep him in the side. I mean, I know he's maybe frustrating a few out there, but I really think he's hugely capable. Hopefully it doesn't cost you a 0, which if Fritz doesn't come into the side, it may be costing me a 0. And I might just be a bit too stubborn to do anything different. I've seen my trades. I would like to bring in one of Mira or Guelphy or Higgins, but Merritt's a must for me, and I really think Bonner just has to go, and I really like Elliot Yeo where he's at, so that's what I'm doing. If you're a Bonner owner, then yeah, turf him. I think he's really done his dash. Break even's about 60 odd again. He's likely to pump out an 80 or 90 at any moment. That could happen, but we really wanted fast cash from him, and he hasn't given us that. Disappointing. He's got to go. And Toby Green's another one. He's out. But look, I think he's a guy that maybe when he gets his body right, he's had an interrupted preseason and season so far. When he gets his body right, definitely a guy that we should be looking to bring in our sides. There could be some carnage in the forward lines. Just off the top of my head, we've got Franklin, we've got Green, we've got Fritz, we've got Petrarca. Probably missing a couple in there as well, but Liam Ryan's hurt us, Venables has hurt us in the past. There's been a lot of injuries going through that forward setup, so hopefully you guys can work through that well enough. But I really do think you should go one of 2 ways. This to me looks like a 2 trade week. I really think we should be using both of our trades, and certainly it could be a double downgrade, a double upgrade, or one of each. I think definitely assess your team, and it's quite simple. And if guys have got money to make, then stay on them. If those guys have peaked, those cash cows, or they've stalled a bit, then bring one of those guys in who could make you some coin. Or if you feel like you need a few more points, you want a bit more of an even balance, then look, maybe you go up to Merritt on one of those trades and you go down to whoever else on one of the others just to free up a bit of that coin, make a nice, easy transaction. And so, look, I think Bonner's got to go. Josh Kelly, the update I read last time was he's probably still a week or 2 away. Well, it was probably 2 weeks when I read it. So it's probably, he's missing this week. He's probably in calculations for next. I believe that's right. I must say I didn't check the team super closely, but I believe he's still out. Probably should have double checked that. So correct me if I'm wrong. But look, I traded him out last week, so I sort of pulled the trigger on that one. But yeah, look, anyway, guys, I think that just about wraps it up. That's how I see it for this week. All the best. Hopefully a good score is just around the corner. Just quietly, Shorty thinks that maybe if Fritz can play and if I can get a full squad, I'm starting to feel like with a bit of a double upgrade, maybe a good score could be just around the corner for Shorty. A couple of poor ones, a couple of sort of just on par scores. I think maybe if I can pull together a full squad, then I could be in for a good week. Here's hoping. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon, guys. Catch you later.